Hey team, what's going on? It's ATM and the ATM squad, where it's all about time and money, your time and your money. We always talking money, and it's all things money on this channel. So listen, before we get into it, we're going to talk about the rule of 72, also known as the banker's rule. But before we go into it, I need you guys to do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Press the notification bell so you can get the updates on when I post up these weekly videos. And again, let somebody know about the channel, and so they can get the same information that you're receiving. But the rule of 72, also known as the banker's rule, and what it states is all you do is divide. You take the number, whatever your interest rate is, you divide that into the number 72, and it'll tell you approximately how long it takes for your money to double. So as an example, let's say if I gave you $10,000, right, and you took that to your bank, and let's say your bank was being generous, and they was giving you a 3% rate of return on your money, right? So the rule of 72 states you take that 3%, you divide that number into 72, and it comes up to 24. So that $10,000, based off the rule, would double every 24 years. So in 24 years, that $10,000 that I gave you would turn into 20,000, right? And in another 24 years, which is 48 years, that would turn into $40,000. Okay, so let's say if you understood the rule, and now you was able to position yourself and position that money to where as though you can get a little bit higher rate of return. So you found a place where you can probably get around 6% rate of return on your money. So now we take the number 6, we divide that into 72, right? Comes up with 12. And so now your money's doubling every 12 years. So that same $10,000 now in 12 years turned into 20,000. In 40 years it turns into 40,000. Then in 36 years it turns into 80,000. And in 48 years, because that's another 12 years, it turns into $160,000. So the same amount of money for the same period of time. The only difference was the rate of return that you were receiving on the money. And you went from $40,000 in 48 years to $160,000 in that same 48-year time frame. All right. So let's say you started to understand this rule, and you saying like, well, maybe I can get more. So you found a place where that $10,000 you can possibly get a 12% rate of return. And again, these numbers from 3, 6, these numbers aren't guaranteed numbers, but if you averaging this over time, right, this is what it'll look like. So you found a place you can get a 12% rate of return. Let's say 12 goes into 72. So now your money's doubling every 6 years. Every 6 years, guys, your money is doubling. So now that same $10,000 in 6 years, it turns into $20,000. And in another 6 years, it turns into $40,000, right? Another 6 years, it turns into $80,000. In another 6 years, it turns into $160,000. Another 6 years, it turns into $320,000. Another 6 years, it turns into $640,000, right? It's doubling every 6 years. Another 6 years, it turns into $1.2 million. In another 6 years, it turns into $2.5 million, up to a 48-year period. If that same 48-year period, the same money, just getting a different rate of return, 3%, 48 years, it turns into 40,000. At 6%, it turns into 160,000. And at a 12% rate of return, guys, in 48 years, it turns into $2.5 million. How do you win a game, any game, if you don't know the rules to the game? Guys, the rule of 72 has been around for the longest time. I never learned it in elementary school, middle school, didn't learn it in high school, and I didn't even learn it in college. Okay? But the rule's been around. It's called the banker's rule. So some of the people, I know it's people at the bank that probably don't even know the rule, and they work at the bank, right? So, but listen, you can't win a game if you don't know the rules to the game. But once you learn the rules to the game, when I learned this in 2011, 2012 timeframe, it was a game changer for me in my overall financial situation. Okay, it was a game changer because I started to understand the rule, and I started to position myself, position my finances, right, to take advantage, to be able to allow that money to make more money. Listen, the rule of 72 is a rule. It's that way. So break it down on a simpler terms, on a simpler level. If you're at a bank right now, I'm not sure if you know what the interest rate on your bank, but let's say your bank was paying 1% and you have $10,000, whatever amount, it doesn't matter, but you got that amount sitting in the bank, right? And that amount's been sitting there for years on years, and you're wondering why that number seemingly hasn't moved, right? If you're getting 1% rate of return on your money, one goes into 72 times, right? It will take you 72 years for whatever amount of money you got sitting in the bank. It'll take 72 years for that money to double. Listen, I don't know about you, but I know I don't have another 72 years on my clock, right? And even if I did, I probably wouldn't even be in my right mind, right? So most people, we don't have that much time, right? So you want to be able to allow and let your money grow in the shortest amount of time possible, right? So you can still use it and still be able to benefit from the growth of it, right? So keep that in mind. None of us have another 72 years unless you were probably just born yesterday, okay? So the rule of 72, it's been out for the longest time. Once you understand the rule, right, it'll help you make better decisions concerning your finances, concerning where you put your money, right? For those who don't like investments, or those who say, I'm scared to invest or fearful about investing because you got the mindset you don't want to lose money. I'm telling you now, like, you will lose money if you do not invest, right? You will lose money if you do not invest because you don't have anything that allows your money to grow to keep up with taxes and inflation, right? And inflation rate is around, I want to say 3.5, maybe 4% inflation. So you should be averaging at least a 6% rate of return on your money just to keep ahead of inflation. But if you are not investing, if you don't have anything that's allowing your money to grow, you are already behind the power curve and you are already losing money, right? You are losing purchasing power as the years go on. So you can say, I got $30,000 saved up and I've been having that in the bank for the longest time. Listen, 30 years from now, you will still have $30,000 saved up, but it'll probably $73 will probably spend like $30,000 spend right now, right? And so you have to invest. You have to allow your money to grow. You have to keep up with inflation. Know the rule. Now that you know the rule, it'll help you make better decisions when it comes down to winning the money game, winning this financial game. Guys, I'm glad that you tuned in. And also remember, we in the month of February. We still we just ended the first week, right? And we still doing the $1,275 a month challenge, right? You take I got my envelopes right here, right? You take 50 envelopes, label them 1 through 50, 2 envelopes a day. You take those envelopes, whatever 2 envelopes you pick that amount of money into those envelopes, you put it to the side and you save it. At the end of the month, you want to be able to save up $1,275, right? Today, I picked out, it was a $45 envelope and a $5 envelope that I placed the money into the envelopes today, right? So in these envelopes here, on day 7, it's a total of $388 that I saved, right? That based off the envelopes that I picked out. I got a big old box here that I shake it up and I just dig in it. Whatever 2 I pick out, I put that amount of money in. So listen, it's a thing to get us in the habit of being able to save money every single month, and to show you that if you set a goal and you got something that you want to accomplish, you're intentional with it, you can get it done, you can accomplish. So if you're doing this challenge, I hope you're sticking with it, right? I hope congratulations to those who completed the January challenge, which was $500 a month for the month of January, right? This challenge this month is a little bit more challenging, but that's what it's supposed to be, $1,275 for the month of February. Stick with it, guys. We're in week 1. Listen, we like you, we love you, we want some more of you. Let's go make this thing happen. Let's become great. Let's go do something big in your financial situation. We so doggone proud that you're here, proud to be your teammates. See you guys at the top.